The wrestling world stands still today. Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, has passed away, and Triple H has just delivered a message that's bringing tears to fans worldwide. Stay with me as we honor an absolute legend. Transition with Mark Henry highlight montage. Respectful imagery. Welcome back to Suplex Rumble, everyone. I'm your name, and today we're covering something incredibly difficult. This isn't about championships, rivalries, or epic matches. Today, we remember Mark Henry, a man who redefined what it meant to be strong, both inside and outside the ring. Triple H, WWE's chief content officer and a man who shared countless moments with Mark throughout their careers, has released a statement that perfectly captures what Henry meant to this industry and to everyone who knew him. Before we dive in, please hit the like button to show your respect, subscribe to stay connected with the wrestling community during this difficult time, and drop a comment sharing your favorite Mark Henry memory. Let's celebrate his legacy together. To truly understand the weight of Triple H's words, we need to appreciate who Mark Henry was. And I'm not just talking about his incredible strength, though lifting over 900 pounds in competition speaks for itself. Mark Henry's journey began long before he ever stepped into a WWE ring. He was an Olympic weightlifter, representing the United States in 1996. Think about that, he was already at the pinnacle of athletic achievement before wrestling ever entered the picture. When WWE signed him in 1996, they didn't just get an athlete. They got someone who would spend the next 2 decades proving that longevity, dedication, and evolution mattered just as much as raw power. Mark wasn't an overnight success in WWE. He spent years developing his craft, working through injuries, and finding his voice. And when he finally broke through, when he became the world's strongest man character we all remember, he became unstoppable. The Hall of Pain era from 2011 to 2013? That was Mark Henry in his absolute prime. He was a world heavyweight champion. He was a force that made main event superstars tremble. And that retirement speech, the one that fooled John Cena and millions of fans, remains one of the greatest mic performances in wrestling history. But here's what made Mark truly special: he never forgot where he came from. He mentored younger talent. He advocated for diversity in wrestling. He broke barriers as an African-American powerhouse in an industry that didn't always provide equal opportunities. Mark Henry didn't just perform, he paved the way. Now, Triple H and Mark Henry's relationship goes back nearly 3 decades. They came up through WWE's ranks in the same era, the Attitude Era, where competition was fierce and survival meant constant evolution. These two men battled each other in the ring. They shared locker rooms. They witnessed each other's highest highs and lowest lows. Triple H watched Mark struggle early on, then saw him transform into a legitimate main event star. But their connection went deeper than just being contemporaries. When Triple H transitioned into his executive role, becoming the architect of NXT and eventually WWE's chief content officer, Mark Henry was right there supporting the vision. Henry worked as a backstage producer, a mentor, and a talent scout. He appeared on programming to put over the next generation. He gave back to the business that gave him everything. Triple H knew Mark not just as a wrestler, but as a colleague, a friend, and a family man. That's why his message hits so differently. This isn't a corporate statement from a WWE executive. This is one brother in the wrestling business mourning another. Triple H's statement was released through WWE's official channels and his personal social media. Let me share the essence of what he said, and why every word carries so much meaning. Triple H opened by acknowledging Mark's unparalleled strength, not just physically, but as a human being. He talked about Mark's character, his kindness, and the respect he commanded from everyone who encountered him. He highlighted how Mark represented excellence across multiple disciplines: Olympic weightlifting, professional wrestling, and mentorship. Triple H emphasized that Mark never did anything halfway. When he committed to something, he gave it everything. One particularly powerful moment in the statement addressed Mark's role as a pioneer. Triple H specifically mentioned how Mark opened doors for future generations, how he proved that athletes of all backgrounds could reach the absolute top of this industry. But perhaps the most emotional part was when Triple H spoke about Mark, the person, the father, the husband, the friend. He shared that Mark's smile could light up a room, that his laugh was infectious, and that behind all that strength was a gentle soul who genuinely cared about people. Triple H concluded by saying the wrestling world has lost not just a legend, but a foundational piece of what makes WWE a family. He promised that Mark's legacy would continue through the countless people he inspired and mentored. Those aren't just words from a boss to an employee. That's one warrior honoring another. That's genuine love and respect. Triple H wasn't alone in his grief. The moment news broke, the wrestling community, past and present, flooded social media with tributes. Legends from every era shared their Mark Henry stories. Current superstars talked about how he encouraged them backstage. Fans posted their favorite memories, from the Hall of Pain destruction to that unforgettable salmon-colored jacket retirement fake-out. What's remarkable is the consistency of the message. Mark Henry was genuine. In an industry built on characters and storylines, Mark was authentically himself. What you saw was what you got, a man of incredible strength with an even stronger heart. The outpouring shows that Mark's impact transcended wrestling. He was a cultural figure, a representative of perseverance, and proof that greatness comes in many forms. Even competitors from other promotions people Mark never worked with paid their respects. That's the measure of a true legend. When the entire industry stops to honor you, when rivals become unified in grief, you've achieved something remarkable. Mark Henry's journey from Olympic weightlifter to WWE Hall of Famer is the stuff of legend. But his journey as a human being, as a father, friend, mentor, and inspiration, that's his true legacy. Triple H's message reminds us that wrestling is more than entertainment. It's a brotherhood. It's a family where bonds are forged through shared struggle, triumph, and mutual respect. To Mark Henry's family, friends, and everyone grieving today, the wrestling world stands with you. We celebrate a life extraordinarily lived. We honor a career that inspired millions. We remember a man who proved that true strength comes from character. If you're watching this, take a moment today to remember Mark Henry your way. Share a favorite match. Watch that retirement speech one more time. Tell someone about the world's strongest man. Keep his legacy alive. From all of us at Suplex Rumble, rest in power, Mark Henry. You'll never be forgotten. Thank you for watching. Please leave your memories and tributes in the comments below. Subscribe to continue honoring wrestling's greatest legends. And remember, in Mark Henry's own words, that's what he do. Take care of each other, wrestling family. We'll see you in the next one.